Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Danel Moshi. So today we are going to discuss these things. Welcome. Understanding the importance of foundation in life, importance of someone who is pursuing knowledge in spiritual realm, disadvantages of ignorance in life. Yeah. Do you know that we're going to discuss this question? Do you know that sometimes God rejects people because of your foundation? We all know that God is love, but there are some things the Bible makes it clear that there are some things that God hates and sometimes God rejects people. How? We're going to see that. Then last, we're going to see and wipe up with how can you build this foundation in your life in order to protect your life. So welcome. By starting, we're going to start by understanding the importance of foundation in life. Okay, now we all know that there are many types of buildings, right? Yeah, we have small buildings, we have those medium buildings, then we have large buildings, then we have those tall buildings with a penthouse. When I say penthouse, is if you are going to hotel, the highest floor, the highest building, the highest floor, it is called the penthouse, the highest floor. So these types of building, and each building, it depends on its foundation. The foundation of the small building is different with the foundation with the middle building. The foundation with the middle building is different from the foundation with the tall building. In other words, the foundation of the building with only one floor, it is different with the foundation of the building of 2 floors, 3 floors, and the tall building. Those people who are studying civil engineering, then they understand what I'm talking about. So the foundation of the building are not the same. The foundation of the small building will not be the same as the foundation of the tall building or even the penthouse. Now, if you want to know how tall building is, you're gonna look how deep the foundation is. So the deeper the foundation, the taller the building. I told you. So those tall buildings, the foundation, they're very deep. Why? Because the foundation determines how building goes far. So the deeper the foundation, the taller the building, right? So hope we understood this principle now. Now let's come to real life. Now we know that there are some people who have big dreams, big visions, and big potentials. They dream big dreams. You know, someone dreaming of maybe going around all over the world, but that's a big dream. It needs many money, a lot of money, a lot of resources, right? So there are some people who have big dreams, big visions, big potential, but what they forget that what they forget, you cannot go far if your foundation is not strong. I said the principle that the deeper the foundation, the taller the building. So now, if you want to go far, if you know that you have big dreams, big visions, big potential, and you want to go far, check out which foundation are you in, under which principles are you in, under which foundation are you in. Because if the tall building has if the tall building maybe in Dubai, let's say, if those tall buildings, they have no strong foundation, when the wind comes, when the problems comes, when the test comes, when the challenges comes, then that building will fall. Same as to you. If you have big dreams, big visions, big potential, if the wind comes, if the problems arrive at your life, because problems must come. Jesus said these words: in this world, there are problems, there are challenges. Don't worry, because I have overcome them. So problems are guaranteed in your life. The moment you claim for something you want to do in life, then problems are guaranteed. Look, Jesus asked Peter, 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 do you love me? Then you know the story. Then somehow Peter claimed that, Jesus, I will follow you, and wherever you go, I will not I will not leave you. Then Jesus said, "Oh, Peter, it is better you couldn't have claimed these words, because once you claim these words, then the devil is near you to taste you. So whatever dreams you have and potential you have, Once you claim it to have and you believe it, then problems must come and test you, because God will not trust you until He tests you. God will not promote you until He tests you, because what? God works with smart people to do big things. Look, before Jesus started ministry, God tested him, and Holy Spirit led him to be tested by the devil. Everybody got tested, so it doesn't matter which test are you passing. But if you have strong foundation, then everything will gonna be okay. Jesus said, if you build your life in the rock, if you build your life in the foundation of Jesus, when the wind comes, your house will be withheld. But if you have no strong foundation, then all of the sudden when winds come, phew, you perish, right? So let's continue. So the importance of foundation in life, it holds your dreams and it sustains your big vision purpose. Yeah, if you have strong foundation, it holds your dreams, it sustains your dream, and it keeps your dream under balance, Yeah, when the wind comes into the tall building, that building wave a little bit, but because of the strong foundation, the building stays. Okay. We all know this famous man, and I think he's an American. I don't know. His name is Tiger Woods. This man is, I think, he was best in golf player, but according to his character, then his dream perished. Why? Perished. Why? Because foundation also can be in terms of characters. Now, I'm gonna give you now. Some may be asking, what are these foundations? The foundation in life includes knowledge, skills, character, wisdom, and understanding. I'm gonna repeat again. The foundations in life, according to my view, they are categorized in 5 things: knowledge, skills, character, wisdom, and understanding. Now let's look the Bible verse that says these things. First verse, Proverbs 24, 3 to 4. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 3 to 4. Let's begin. By wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established. Through knowledge its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. Wow. Okay, next verse. Proverbs 22, 29. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 29 says, do you see someone skilled in their work? They will serve before kings. They will not serve before officials of low rank. Do you see someone with a skill? Do you see someone skilled in the work? Do you see? I told you the components of foundation is skills. And in the previous verse, you have seen there, knowledge, understanding, wisdom. These are foundations in life. You must have them as a human being. So we have already seen understanding the foundation in life, right? So let's move to part 2. Importance of someone who is pursuing knowledge in spiritual realm. Now, having knowledge in life, it gives you credibility for God to walk with you. I repeat again, having knowledge, having skills, having wisdom, having character, and having skills, okay, affirmation. It gives you credibility for God to walk with you. How? Because God works with skilled people. Okay, let me put this clear. God works with everybody. Everybody, as long as you're a human being, God works with you. But there are some things that there are levels that God differentiates himself according to his position. God is all knowing, is all potentials. He knows everything. Now he cannot work with some people who they have no knowledge. Okay. I don't know how to put it, but okay, let me put it like this. God works with knowledgeable people and skilled people to do big things. Big things. God does not work with dumb people. Dumb people, I mean people who are ignorant. They have no knowledge. They lack knowledge to do big things. No. God works with smart people, good people, and knowledgeable people to do big things in life, to do great things. Now, I'm going to give you some things, some examples, not from the Bible later on, but let's look at some important facts. God doesn't do big things on earth with dumb people, or ignorant people. Why? Because He is all-knowing, He is omnipotent. It means He has a lot of potentials. So that's all. So in order for Him to walk with you, you must resemble like Him. You must resemble like Him. You must have knowledge. You must have knowledge, skills, understanding, wisdom, character, and so forth. There are many, but I've collected only in 5 categories. Okay, so having knowledge gives you credibility for God to work with you. Now, let me give you an example in the Bible. Jesus did not choose dumb people to be His disciples. I repeat again, Jesus did not choose dumb people to be His disciple. Jesus did not choose people with no knowledge to be His disciples. I'm going to give you examples. Jesus chose Peter and his friend, his brother, I think, who were fishermen, right? Fishermen, they are working under the company of fishing industry of Zebedee. Zebedee, I think it was their father, right? So these guys had the skills of fishing, right? Had knowledge of fishing. So God said, yeah, I can work with these people because they have skills. Sometimes they will help me later because of their skills. So God chose those guys. Then He chose again Matthew. Matthew was a tax collector. He had the skills about money. He knew how to manage money, how to take tax, and so forth. So He chose that guy because of the skill, tax collector. Then He chose Luke. Luke was a physical doctor. If you read the Bible well, Luke was the physical doctor. You see, Jesus chose these people with knowledge. Why? Because knowledge gives you credibility for God to work with you to do big things. So Jesus did not choose dumb people. Another thing, if you read those books of Apostle Paul, who previously was Saul, Apostle Paul went to university. If you read more books, you'll know that Apostle Paul studied, had knowledge. He went to university, he studied. So he had knowledge, he had some skills, he had some. Though later he went to an astray, and he started killing people of God, apostles and prophets. But God doesn't look on your fall. He doesn't look on what did you do bad to him. He looks what do you have in you. So God said, oh, this Paul, since he went to university, I can use him because he can write many books because of his skills and intellect power, right? So God used the Apostle Paul because of that thing, knowledge and skills. God works with smart people, knowledge people to do big things in life. So He used him, and Apostle Paul, as we know, he wrote many books in the New Testament than any other prophet. All right. So next, another example. Okay, in the beginning, was finding someone who. In the beginning, God was finding someone who can fulfill the promise that He swore to Abraham, that He gonna release Israelites from Egypt, right, to the promised land. So God was finding someone who can lead these people, because these people were too many. So if He was finding someone who was having knowledge to lead these people, also He was finding some, because God in the beginning, He had no books. So He was finding someone also who can write some books according to His creation, right? So God looked at this Hebrew girl who bore Moses, right? So God made sure that He placed Moses in an environment where there is leadership and he can learn something about writing, right? So as we know, if you study history, Egypt was the country that was dealing the major economy of Egypt in those days. It was a paper industry, producing paper from trees, right? And producing paper from trees, okay? And in Egypt, there was a leadership of Pharaoh. So God placed Moses in in environment of leadership in order Moses to see how leader can lead people. Not because Pharaoh was leading bad, but God wanted Moses to see, to have experience of how leadership is. That's why he placed Moses in the throne, to see how leadership is going, because Moses had no idea about leadership. He was baby. He put in the basket, then that girl came to take him, so he had no idea of any leadership. So God placed him in leadership environment in order for Moses to see and have experience how leadership is. Also, he needed Moses to learn how to make paper from trees, because Egypt was the one of the country that was leading in paper industry. So Moses went to paper industry university. That's fine, okay, fine. So do you see how God is smart? He works with knowledgeable people to do big things. So I advise you get knowledge if you want God to work with you. That's right. That's the principle. And principles are never same. You see, God has integrity. He's same yesterday, today, and forever. So the same principle he used to those people, he will use them to you. Get knowledge, my friend. So Moses learned those things. That's why later on Moses wrote 5 books of creation. Now, when God wanted to reveal some things to him, he used Moses said. So Moses said, okay, I learned how to make paper in Egypt, so I can have a trace and do something and bring paper so that I can write what God is revealing to me. As you know, in those times there was no schools. There was no schools at all. So God used to teach people through revelation. Revelation. You'll be revealed something by Holy Spirit, then you write. So Moses was revealing something by Holy Spirit, then he wrote. Why? Because he knew how to take tree to paper and write it down. Right? Got it. Okay. So also last examples, we see David wrote Psalms 150. Okay, so why? Because David was songwriter. So because of that skill, God used him. So we have seen so far someone who is pursuing knowledge and skill. You attract if you have knowledge, if you have skills, if you have character, if you have wisdom, if you have understanding, you attract God to work with you. God doesn't work with them people to do big things. He will work with you, but how far you go, it determines with your foundation. That's the principle. All right. So let's go to part 3. Disadvantages of ignorance in life. As we know, ignorance is the ability, simply we can put like ignorance is the lack of knowledge, right? Ignorance is lack of knowledge. When you don't have knowledge, it means you are ignorant. And we know there's one principle I learned from Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. He said that ignorance is not a demon. You can't cast it out. It means if you don't know how to manage money, you can't cast that demon out. You can't cast that thing out, because ignorance is not a demon. If you don't know how to manage money, you can't be ready to learn how to manage money. Why? Because ignorance is not a demon. All you gotta do is go and learn how to manage money. That's all. Ignorance is not a demon. That's why even Bible said, for those who are dealing with sexual immorality, that doing fornications before marriage, God said, if you're tempted to do those things, don't pray for God to remove that thing. He said, what? Run like Joseph did. Because what? Ignorance of how to maintain those things, you cannot pray to cast it off, because ignorance is not a demon. All right. So I want to make something clear. In Hebrew language, ignorance means darkness, and darkness, as we know, devil is the prince of darkness. All right. Devil is the prince of darkness. Devil is the prince of darkness. So this is the principle. The less you know things in life, the more devil controls you. So devil controls people in things that they don't know. Right? You say, okay, devil controls things control people in things that they have no idea of. So the more you don't know, the more devil controls you, because what that is the disadvantage of not knowing things, because devil will control you in things that you don't know. For example, you are eating, maybe you are, for example, maybe you are smoking or drinking beer. If you don't know the disadvantages of smoking in your lungs, if you don't know the disadvantages of drinking beer in your health, then devil will tell you, hey, get more, get more, get more. You see, and when you taste it, the devil tells you, do you see how you feel good? And you answer, yeah, I feel good, man. Because what, you are ignorant, you don't know it. The moment you know the disadvantages of those things and you have clear understanding of the disadvantage, then devil can't control you anymore, because now you have understand. Because devil controls people who don't understand things. That's why what devil fights for every day is for you to not understand. That's all. Devil does not afraid people who pray, people who fast. He is afraid of you getting closer to understand things. That's all. Jesus made it clear. He said that when this knowledge of the kingdom is being preached, once you get understand, devil moves from the hell and comes to not make you understand. He snatches away what something you start understanding. So the moment you start understanding things, devil snatches away. So that is the one of the disadvantage of being ignorant, that you attract devil to work with you. That's all. And knowledge in Hebrew language, it means light. So the more knowledge you have, the more you attract God. Those are principles of this world, that the more knowledge you have, the more you attract God. The less knowledge you have, you attract darkness. Who is ruling over darkness? Devil. So those are disadvantages of ignorance in life. Then next part, we are going to discuss this question. Do you know that sometimes God rejects people? Yes, God rejects ignorant people. Let's read it from the Bible. Hosea 4 verse 6. It said, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Because they have rejected knowledge, I also must reject them as my priest. Since you have ignored the law of God, I also will ignore your children. I told you, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Because they have rejected knowledge, I also must reject them. So the day you stop learning, the day God rejects you. The day you stop learning, the day God rejects you. That's why you gotta learn through all your life, because God is attracted to someone who learns new things every day, someone who gets skills every day, get knowledge every day. I told you, God rejects ignorant people. And bad enough, I don't know how to explain this principle, but God rejects ignorant people. We all clear, and we see Hosea 4 verse 6. So you gotta watch out. Get knowledge for God, for you to attract God to do big things with you. Then last part we're gonna see how can you build the foundation in life. Now there are ways to build foundation in life. Now as we have seen that the foundation in life are knowledge, skills, character, wisdom, understanding, right? So how can you build these things in life? Number one, by reading books. Not reading only books. There are many types of books. There's fiction books, there's novels books, there's non-fiction, which are self-help books. Now you must read books that gives you knowledge. And those are self-help books, non-fiction books. Number two, listen to podcasts. There are a lot of podcasts that have materials and many things. Just go to Spotify and look to some podcasts. You just write their podcast, they'll come, and just take your time, listen every day. Third, listen to YouTube videos. Now today, globalization has made the world as a village. So everything you need to know, it is there online. It's just you and your internet and your time. Go and learn some things. Go to YouTube, search how to. Everything, it's been taught there. So take your time and go and learn some stuff there. Then, because The principle of this thing is say that you become what you hear every day consistently. So your brain receives commands by hearing, repetition, hearing. So you become what you hear every day. So the music you listen, the videos you watch determines who you're gonna be. It's like if someone comes you and tells you, okay, show me what videos are you looking every day, then I will show you your future, how it looks like. That's the principle, because you become what you hear. Then lastly, attend to seminars. There are potential seminars, maybe church seminars, or if you hear something, we have crusade maybe for business masterclass. Go. If it is free, go. If it costs a little bit money, pay, go, because you are trying to destroy your ignorance, right? Yeah. Attend to workshop. There are some workshop like business workshop, sales workshop, and etc. Then get mentors, mentorship. Yeah, get mentors. Mentors will take you places where you'll avoid pitfalls that they have gone through. So all those. I'm gonna leave you with this verse from the Bible. The verse is from Proverbs 4, verse 7. It says that wisdom is supreme. Supreme means highest priority. Okay, but if it costs you all that you have, get understanding. So Solomon was saying that wisdom is supreme, highest priority. So wisdom, everybody can get wisdom, right? But if it costs you all that you have, get understanding. It means that if you have money right now, and then you have two options: either going by Jordan for going by fancy stuffs, and second option, you are going to the bookstore to buy books. Then Solomon advises you go and buy books. Don't buy those fancy stuff. Go and buy books, because if it costs you all that you have, get understanding. If you have money, go and buy books. Don't buy those fancy stuff, because money will give you those fancy stuff more. But if you buy those fancy stuff, they'll get old, then you'll be ignorant. So all the best. Hope it was a long story, but hope you have understand me, and hope it's worth it, right? As I promised you, this video is gonna worth it. You have my word now. So I did it. All the best to people who have big dreams, to all the best people who have big visions. Get knowledge, because God works with smart people to do big things. I said God works with everybody, but God works with smart people to do big things. Also, God rejects ignorant people. Ignorant people, there are things that God hates, and we have seen that. As I said, in the Bible, it makes clear God hates envy, those people who are killing. He said there are 6 things that God hates, and there are 7 things. It said that. Also, God rejects people because of ignorance. Also, because of people who doesn't manage his resources. God rejects them and put them away. So I advise you, get knowledge, get skills, get characters, get wisdom, get understanding, because these are foundation of your life. The deeper your foundation, it determines how far you go. The more you know, the more you do better. So all the best. See you in the next video. Thank you.